Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host bidding you welcome through the squeaking door. Well, we're overcome with Yuletide spirits this evening. Parties everywhere. Ah, what fun. One fellow was lit up like a torch. His wife had struck a match to him. Big shindig at the city morgue. Everybody was a little stiff. Out in Hollywood, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman threw a monster jamboree. The guests had a screaming good time. And the punch bowl, just right. Chilled to body temperature. Sub-zero. Everybody's blood ran cold.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, Death Out of Mind, was written by John Robert and stars Larry Haynes in the role of Ed with Ann Shepard as Mary.
And now, gentle people, now for the soothing nuances of shrieks in the night. Say, ever see the little man who wasn't there? No. Carefully, right behind you. We're in apartment 2A of a cheaply furnished flat in Chelsea facing the street. The room is pitch dark. A patch of moonlight is crusted on the window as if it can't get through the grime. Ed Tate is crouched at the window watching the street. His face.
Mary?
Ed, there's nobody downstairs.
Oh, there must be. I've seen him. Here from the window. See? See, Santo? There, leaning against the lamppost, smoking a cigarette. I've been watching him, Mary. I can't take my eyes off him.
Ed, you've got to take hold of yourself. Leave this room.
He'll be waiting for me wherever I go. He'll be everywhere waiting for me. Turn a corner and run into him. Catch a train and he's sitting beside you. Run away and meet him in Boston, Frisco, Hong Kong.
Don't, please.
He's Fate. Fate dressed in a black suit.
Please, no more wild talk.
I'm crazy. Is that what you mean?
Ed, darling, think. We're just married. I'm a bride. We were going to be something wonderful.
You married a guy with whams in his head. Marriage never had a chance. You got a stacked deal, Mary.
I'll get help. Operator, I want the police. Operator. There's no buzz. The line's dead.
He cut the wires. I told you he was downstairs.
Can't stand any more of this.
Oh, Mary. Mary, don't cry over me. Forget me. Just turn time back 24 hours and forget you ever married me.
But you've done nothing. It's just in your mind.
This is a payoff for other things. There's always a payoff waiting somewhere. There's always retribution. Now, you get away, Mary. This door.
No.
I'll wait for Santo alone. I don't want him coming to
Ed,
you.
he doesn't
Take
exist.
the back staircase and hurry.
I'll get a doctor. You're sick.
Beat it. Beat it. Beat it. Beat it. He's come. He knocks on my door. Fate knocks. Patiently. Once, twice, three. One, you're cornered. Two, you can't get away. Three, open the door. So simple, Dad. No fuss, no wasted talk. Just 1, 2, 3. Open up. Okay, Santo, I'm not running away. I'm opening up. Sergeant, I'm Ed Tate. I just killed a man. Here's a gun.
Hey, this guy's sick. Crazy, call an ambulance.
It's been 6 hours, Doctor. I hate to push, but how much longer?
Well, it's futile being a district attorney now, Kittredge. The prisoner's a very sick man.
Just a few questions.
Useless. His memory is gone temporarily. Who is he?
Ed Tate, reporter on leave from the Bulletin. He was released from a sanitarium less than 2 weeks ago. Here's a complete report on him.
Oh.
On his way from the station house to the hospital, Tate kept insisting he'd murdered a killer named Santo.
But he did murder a man.
Oh, he did that all right, but to the best of the department's knowledge, there never was a killer named Santo. How long before he can answer questions?
Days, maybe weeks.
The department can't wait that long.
If we tried narcosynthesis, a compound popularly known as truth serum.
Get started, Doctor. Murder can't wait.
Tate,
Yes.
count backwards, starting at 100.
199. 98.
Tell us all about it, Tate.
All about it. The sanitarium?
Yes, about the sanitarium. You were there in Harbor Hospital. You were released 2 weeks ago. You went there from your newspaper. Why did you go to the sanitarium, Tate?
Stella Andrews killed herself. I couldn't get her out of my thinking, get her out of my head.
Who was Stella Andrews?
She figured in an unsolved murder mystery 20 years ago. I dug the story up and put it back on the front page.
Yes, I remember the case, Tate. Stella Andrews was tried for murder and acquitted. They set her free. You uncovered new evidence?
No. I did it as a circulation stunt to sell papers. I didn't think of Stella Andrews. I didn't think.
Go on, Tate.
I never even met her until that last day.
What happened that last day?
Stella Andrews confronted me in my office. A gray, tragic woman. She told me that she'd long ago changed her name. That she'd made a new life for herself. Until this notoriety started suspicions in the minds of her neighbors. She said she was too old to make a new life for herself all over again. And then...
Yes, Tate.
I turned away in shame, despising myself. And she was gone. 20 stories to the sidewalk. An innocent woman paid the supreme penalty. I was her accuser, her judge, and jury. I was a murderer.
Go on, Tate.
Well, after that, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't work. I wound up in the sanitarium.
And then?
Well, on my release, I tried to forget Stella Andrews lying crushed on the sidewalk. I tried to get back in stride. I tried to kid myself there wouldn't be a payoff somewhere for what I'd done. I tried marriage. I dragged a sweet kid into partnership in the accounting I owed fate.
What did you do, Tate?
I eloped with Mary Connor, a public librarian. For me, Mary had the kind of magic that makes pain disappear. I'd only known her for a whirlwind week, but long enough to know she was gold through and through. We were motoring back from Elkton, just married. Happy?
What time is it, Ed?
Minute past midnight.
I've been Mrs. Edward Tate for 4 hours. I'm hungry.
Oh, coffee do me fine, too. Keep lookout for a road stand, huh?
There's one right ahead.
Oh. Funny looking joint. Fine place for a wedding supper.
It's the Ritz, darling. Hamburgers like filet mignon. Come on, my mouth's watering.
It's a beat-up cardboard shack. The kind that generally bloom in June, grab some tourist change, and then fade in October. The sign outside read Joe's Barbecue. The inside was gloomy.
What'll it be, folks?
2 hamburgers.
And coffee. Coffee first.
No hamburgers. I'm out of meat.
Oh, what have you got?
Eggs, ham, and Swiss.
Ham and Swiss. And toast the bread, huh?
Yeah, make it 2.
Yeah, okay.
We were half through sandwiches as tasteless as sawdust when the door opened behind us. The night air sent a chill over me, like a premonition. A man came in out of the night. I stared at the newcomer, as if magnetic fingers were drawing me to him. He was dressed in the devil's black. Black so worn it had a satiny sheen. And his face was hard and bitter and evil.
No, just eggs and ham and Swiss, mister. Hey, what's the gun for?
One guess.
Oh, sure, I can guess.
Hurry.
Okay.
It was a black flat automatic.
Your wallet, mister.
I got my wallet and dropped it out on the counter. The chef was stalling over the register. I could tell by the sudden rigidity in his back that he was reaching for a gun. I wanted to scream, warn him not to, but my throat muscles were... Ow! I watched the chef double over. I watched the gunman vault the counter and bear in for the kill. Mary's hand closed over mine and pulled at me.
Ed, quickly.
I was through the door and running for the car on someone else's feet, with Mary pulling at my sleeve.
Ed, hurry.
Yes. We were moving when the killer reached the door and fired. The shots were lost in the night. We left him silhouetted in the doorway. A dark centennial guarding the tomb. Moon shafts touching his automatic. He made it look phosphorescent. The Manhattan skyline was blinking at us before we dared trust our voices. Anyone behind us?
No. There was a car, but it turned off.
Jolly honeymoon.
We'll forget it. We'll just not remember.
Did you watch him, Mary?
No, I couldn't.
How relentlessly he moved in for the kill. How exquisitely cold and efficient, like a machine.
Ed, it's unhealthy, that sort of talk.
I couldn't take my eyes off him. I felt as if he were part of me, come to life, a blood twin, showing me to myself.
Darling, please.
Demonstrating to me what I really was. A killer, cold and efficient, like a machine.
No.
He killed that man like I killed Stella Andrews. His instrument was a gun, mine was a typewriter. He used bullets, I used words. But our methods were the same. Deliberate, ruthless, murderous.
Ed, forget him.
We'll see him again, my blood twin. He's my conscience, come to life.
We're going to report this to the police.
No, we're not.
Why?
I'm afraid of him.
But he's a complete stranger. What have we got to fear? We'll never see him again.
We'll see him again, Mary. He'll come calling.
But Ed, the wallet. He has your wallet.
We're not strangers to him, Mary. He'll be calling on us. He had my wallet, my name, my whereabouts. But the wallet was only an incidental thing. I knew he'd call. Our lives were intertwined. Somehow he was now as much a part of my life as the ghost of Stella Andrews. We reached home. We just sat around and waited. And soon the phone rang.
Ed.
It's him.
What'll we do?
Answer the phone, I guess. Yes? Ed Tate, yes. Yes. I understand.
What did he say?
I'm to come to the street.
Ed, you won't.
They won't harm me, he said. If I don't come down, he's coming up, he said.
What does he want?
I don't know. I'll go see. He was waiting for me in a big car that looked like a hearse. As I came out of the hall, he motioned me to come sit beside him. The car nosed east toward the river. He didn't talk. He just concentrated on driving. We were close enough for me to touch him. But I wasn't frightened. I felt as if we belonged to each other. Where are we going?
To the river.
What for?
To dump him.
Him was a gesture behind us. I turned to look. There was a packing trunk on the floor in the rear of the car. The chef's corpse. You're gonna kill me, too?
Why should I?
To shut me up?
We'll dump the trunk together. That'll shut you up.
Well, wouldn't killing me be simpler?
If you shut up, it's just the same, maybe.
What's your name?
You get an idea.
No. No, I just want to know you very much.
Santo. Just Santo.
We stopped along a deserted wharf, just under the Brooklyn Bridge. And there, with the world asleep and the moon looking on, we dumped a trunk. It sank slowly, twisting in tortured slow motion.
You can go home now, Tate.
Don't you feel it, Santo?
Feel what?
This kinship. We're the same person, Santo.
You're crazy.
No, I mean it. Look at me. Look at me. See our resemblance? We didn't just happen together. You're something out of me. You are me.
You talk too much, Tate. Maybe I'll have to kill you after all.
Oh, you'll kill me, Santo, soon enough. You'll have to kill me. You're my conscience. At home, we just stayed in, Mary and I, staring emptily at each other. It was a honeymoon like a wake. Morning came. The day passed. We did nothing, just sat imprisoned. And then that night, I knew Santa would come. This time for keeps. I knew it by the way my flesh was floating in sweat. Fear was consuming me. Mary, Santo's downstairs.
It's all in your mind.
He's downstairs. He'll be coming up. Mary, where are you going?
To see. Ed, I can't stand much more of this.
Yeah, you go see. And when you come back, signal, like this. Do it twice. Mary went down to check, but I knew the answer. I got my gun and went to the window to watch and wait. Santo was downstairs. When he came up, I killed him.
We know the rest, Tate. Now you must sleep.
Sleep?
Yes.
Balmy as a March hare. Right, Doctor?
Well, it suggests a vivid hallucinosis induced by his guilt feelings about this Stella Andrews. This man he killed, did you identify him?
Got a report on it a moment ago. A man named Jenkins. He was the building superintendent.
This Santo, then, just existed in Tate's imagination. Fate dressed in a black suit. It's an interesting hypothesis, Kittredge.
Big headache to me. Oh, Daly, get those notes typed up. Have the department investigate every last detail immediately. Mrs. Tate's in the next room, Doctor. You want to listen in?
Very much, Kittredge.
Mrs. Tate, this is Dr. Thorpe.
How is he, Doctor?
I'm recommending his immediate return to a mental hospital.
Mrs. Tate, your husband just told us a long story. I'll have to ask you some questions for the record.
Yes.
You were just married?
Yes.
Motoring back from Elkton, did you stop at a road stand for refreshments?
No. We came straight to our apartment.
And then what?
He began behaving queerly. He locked us in. We just sat all night, all the next day. The second night, Ed took a gun out of his valise. He stood guard at the window. He said he was waiting for a Santo.
Did you ever see this Santo?
No.
What brought the janitor up at that hour of the night?
Ed was raving insanely. I suppose he came to investigate the noise. Can I go, Mr. Kittle?
No, not right now. You'll have to stay a while. Just routine. My men will be reporting back, and I want you to read your husband's statement and then make one of your own. You can bunk on the bench, grab 40 winks. I think I'll doze off myself. Pick your own chair, Doctor. Oh, Kittredge speaking. Yeah, wait till I get a pencil. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Keep talking. Okay.
Reports coming in, Kittredge?
Yes, Doctor. Explain this. There was a road stand called Joe's Barbecue. My men found it, all boarded up.
Yeah. Tate probably noticed it while driving and wove it into his hallucination.
Mrs. Tate. Mrs. Tate,
Yes.
did your husband leave the apartment at all last night before the shooting?
He might have while I was asleep.
Why do you ask that question, Kittredge?
Because my men fished a packing trunk out of the East River.
What was in the trunk?
Cement. Bags of cement. What's the medical slant on that?
Only perplexity, Kittredge.
You know, I've got a new theory, Doctor, since we're hypothesizing.
What is it?
That Tate's zany story was true, the whole of it. That the chef and Santa were real. That the whole thing was staged to play on Tate's emotional instability, drive him crazy, then drive him to actual murder by sending that janitor up those stairs.
Like all police theories, too incredible for me.
Mrs. Tate, can you help us out? Give us an idea about that trunk?
No. Ed was irrational, capable of anything.
When he barricaded himself in the room with a gun, why didn't you call the police?
I did. But
But what?
the wires were cut.
An odd touch for you, Doctor. The man who wasn't there cut the telephone wires.
Extraordinary.
Cut the wires inside the apartment. Oh, Fate dressed in black. Do you like black, Mrs. Tate?
I do.
Black worn to a satiny sheen. Do you always wear a satiny black, Mrs. Tate?
I prefer it, Mr. District Attorney.
Good heavens, Kittredge, what do you say?
You were Mary Connor when you got married?
Yes.
Who were you, Mary Connor, before you began masquerading as Fate?
Mary Andrews. Stella Andrews was my mother.
Say, want to get married? Okay. May all your troubles be little ones. Confused chap, that Ed Tate. 3 on a honeymoon. Mister, that's asking for trouble. In fact, wouldn't you say it's sort of crowding your luck? And that little man who was there, popping in and out of Ed's mind. You know, if it was me, I'd have started charging him rent. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
Oh, the time is now, the time is here. Now's the time for a bite of cheer. A tasty light where the price is right. Well, look here, you'll dig this sight. The moment's handy for a piece of candy. Just name your brand, they're all so grand. Hey, what do you think of a nice cool drink? Or a big box filled with a popcorn thrill? Let your taste buds meet with an ice cream treat. Refresh yourselves, it's time to eat. So come on, folks, let's join the band as we all head for the refreshment stand.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at WatchWattle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda. During the intermission, our radio show brings to you a cartoon for the record. We now return you to our radio show.
Have you ever been by a girl like this?
Strain, the monstrous assurance of this race of puny bipeds with overblown egos. The creature who calls himself man. He believes he owns the earth, and every living thing on it exists only for his benefit. Yet how foolish he is. Consider, even the lowly insect that man trods underfoot outweighs humanity several times, and outnumbers him by countless billions. In the continuing war for survival between man and the hexapods, only an utter fool would bet against the insect. Let a man or woman venture from the well-beaten path of civilization, let him cross the threshold of the limited intellect, and he encounters amazing, wondrous things, the unknown and terrible. If he escapes these weird adventures with his life, he will usually find he left his reason behind him. Perhaps that is what happened to these two souls, lost in the great Mexican desert. But then, ask yourself, why would anyone trod from the usually well-traveled roads of this modern age, from the luxury of an air-conditioned automobile? It's difficult for our modern world of statistics and electronics to accept miracles. But you could almost call this a miracle, a genuine miracle. Out of hundreds and thousands of square miles of heat and seared wasteland, where the vultures wait for the other vultures to die, an American oil surveyor has chosen to explore this particular terrible corner of the earth, the Muerto Desert, the desert of death. This surveyor can hardly credit his eyes. Perhaps they're only elusive images produced by roasting the optic nerves. But if they do exist, if they are living things from somewhere, one fact is certain. Miracle or not, they will not be living things for long. The Muerto Desert, true to its name, will soon convert them into dead things.
Maybe he's coming out of it then. I doubt it, Doc. Even if they got across that desert alive, the sun's bound to have cooked their brains.
It's a miracle to me how Pepe and Frank found them.
No, I better be getting back to work. Beats me how they got there, or what they were doing. That's the most godforsaken spot on Earth.
Maybe they're from that missing plane we read about.
That plane was headed for Mexico City. Have to be 100 degrees off to land in the Muerto Desert.
100 degrees or not, they had to come from somewhere. Where'd you say you picked them up, Pepe?
On the road to Zarpa Mesa, Señor Médico.
Pretty girl under all that sunburn.
She was almost completely dehydrated. I don't know what kept them alive. You're all right. You're safe. You're in an oil company office.
Sure.
She's in about the same shape you are. She hasn't come out of it yet, but I think you're both going to be all right. Here, try to take this.
Who did you think you were, anyway, Superman? Nobody's ever been able to walk across that desert and come out alive. You try with a girl.
You said this was an oil company. Can you load a truck with full drums and bring all the men you can spare? If we get there in time, maybe we can...
Can what?
Burn them out before they scatter. That's the only thing that scares them, fire. But if we're too late, we're too late.
Now, just a minute, young fella. Take it easy. You've been out in the sun too long.
That sedative will quiet them down a minute.
I tell you, I don't know you haven't seen them, but if you had, you'd realize it.
Seen them?
Look, you said Superman. Well, these are super monsters or bugs. As big as we are, they can kill you with one bite.
What can?
These things. If they scatter before we get there, we...
Where do they come from?
He's got an underground lab up on Zarpa Mesa. He does something to their gland.
Who does?
Dr. Aranya.
Aranya? Ay, caramba.
I told you the sun had cooked their brains.
Pepe doesn't think so.
And besides, nobody's ever been able to climb Zarpa Mesa.
You can reach it by plane.
Let's listen to his story anyway. What do we got to lose?
Well, it all started on the border a few days back. I pilot for Jan Van Croft, the big financier. Well, we had engine trouble. I made a forced landing in a field outside this little Mexican town. After we landed, I stayed with the ship to...
Quite a story he's telling, isn't it, Pepe? You've heard from your people about Zarpa Mesa and the mysterious Dr. Aranya, even though your bosses haven't. So, why tell them? They would only laugh at you and say, "Poor Pepe, you're getting old." But you've heard for years about the grotesque and misshapen people, about the women, strange women who do not die. No, Grant Phillip doesn't know the whole story. You see, he came into it late. It actually began, almost a year ago. The night Dr. Leland Masterson, the world-famous specialist in research, found himself in the middle of the Muerto Desert, the desert of death. He came in answer to a rather mysterious summons from a man he admired, but knew only as a name signed to a series of brilliant scientific treatises, Aranya.
arrived.
Your eyes must be playing tricks on you in this light. Is that what you think, Masterson? What was it you thought you saw? Apparently, they've come correctly. But to Masterson, it seems strange. A man with the genius of Aranya building his laboratory on an inaccessible mountaintop in the middle of an uninhabited desert. Why Zarpa Mesa? Why Zarpa Mesa, indeed? A natural question, Doctor, and one that was soon to be answered, though in a way so fantastic and horrible as to make a man of science doubt his senses.
Masterson, Dr. Leland Masterson. I believe Dr. Aranya is expecting me. Systems of insects.
Dr. Masterson?
Dr. Aranya?
I trust your journey was pleasant.
Well, moderately. I must confess, though, that I was a trifle uneasy when your driver headed into the Muerto Desert. But everything seems to have worked out.
The sentimental human mind being what it is, this is the only sort of a place I could find to carry on my work. But I can understand your feelings.
These papers on the anterior lobe of the pituitary and the effects of the specific hormones on other living things. Quite the most remarkable endocrine theories that I've ever read.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Coming from the world's foremost organotherapist, a fine compliment.
That's why I jumped at the chance to come here. Work with you. Examine your theories.
Oh, let us understand one thing, Doctor. These are not theories.
Not theories?
I have successfully proved every point over and over again in my laboratory.
Wait a minute. You want me to believe that you have produced these things by experimentation?
And many more.
And my eyes weren't playing tricks.
So you can see why such work as this must be completed inside a mountaintop amidst this desolation. Oh, I'm completing a most unusual experiment in my laboratory. Doctor, would you care to observe?
Oh, certainly.
Come along. Only a matter of minutes now.
What is the nature of this?
Well, it requires some clarification, Doctor. As you know, I have isolated the growth hormone of the anterior pituitary, the specific substance which controls the growth pattern of human beings.
Yes, it was the subject of one of your papers.
Yes, and with this accomplished, I said to myself, what would the effect be of this hormone or a complete human pituitary being transferred in the body of another creature? I began a series of experiments. Moderate success among the lesser animals, a complete failure among birds. And then, experimenting one day upon the hexapods, I came upon the Theraphysidia family.
A tarantula?
Exactly. The tarantulas began to yield amazing results. They grew as large as human beings, began developing new reasoning powers, and I found I had the telepathic power to communicate with them. And then I reversed the process, transplanted the control substance of the insect back into the human body. Doctor, observe this girl. I call her Tarantella. She has human beauty and intelligence, still possesses the capacities and instincts of the giant spider.
How do you mean?
She has the indestructibility of the insect. If her body became damaged, if she were to lose an arm or a leg, she could grow a new one. I expect Tarantella may survive for hundreds and hundreds of years.
And what about males?
Well, unfortunately, in the insect world, the male is a puny, unimportant thing. You saw a few of the examples.
The dwarfs.
I think we're beginning to get some results.
What is it?
If we are successful, I shall have a super female spider with a thinking and reasoning brain. A creature that someday may control the world, subject to my will. Convinced now, Doctor? I hope you appreciate this opportunity I'm giving you to become a colleague of mine.
No. You can't do these things. You're tampering with the work of the Creator.
Gibberish.
You're evil. This place is like... It must be destroyed. You and all foul things that you've made.
You made a choice, Doctor. A very poor choice. Of course, you know I cannot let you leave this place.
Some way, somehow, I'll find a way to put an end to your ghastly experiments.
Regrettable. I was hoping for a colleague, but... Well, at least we have another experimental subject.
Mr. Masterson.
Drink, please. The very best. Scotch. It will do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Dump.
Well, it isn't exactly the Star Club, I'll admit, but...
Senora, the best people in the house. Buena.
Down in this flea-bitten border town, and you would drag me to this dive, this unupholstered sewer.
Oh, I find this place rather amusing. Your great Southwest has a certain flavor, no?
No. I don't happen to be in the mood for a cook's tour of our great Southwest. If it wasn't for that forced landing, we'd be in Mexico getting married by now.
But, my dear, you can't blame me for the motor trouble. Those things will happen to the best of planes.
Well, it didn't have to happen on my wedding day.
Now you're acting childish, and that's not you. After all, being able to adapt oneself to any situation is the mark of the true sophisticate.
I'm sorry.
And you're not angry with me?
Of course not, Jan.
J. Masterson is the name. May I? I beg your pardon? May I say you are beautiful, my dear? Very beautiful. And good.
It's very kind of you.
Yes, Wu, the plane is ready, huh?
Not for some time. The pilot is having considerable trouble.
Spend a small fortune for a plane. Hire the best pilot I can get. And what happens? Well, Wu, what are you waiting for? Get back to the plane.
Yes, Master.
It's certainly good to see you. I've been looking for you for 2 days.
I'm sorry, but I felt like a little trip.
We missed you, sir. Dr. Harrison wishes to see you, you know.
I know, George. But I don't want to see him.
I don't get this. Who are you and what's this all about?
I'm his nurse, miss.
His nurse?
Yes, you see, Mr. Masterson is...
No, George. I wouldn't do that. See, I like this lady. Like her?
Very much. She's fascinating. As a dancer, of course.
I don't like her.
Tell me, what's wrong?
Not now, ma'am. Don't talk.
And they threw her down, and her blood was sprinkled on the wall. And he trod her underfoot.
Give me that gun, Mr. Masterson. Please, give me that gun.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Stop, everybody. Listen. This man's an insane killer. He's local. He'll kill all of us before you can reach him.
Thank you, George. Well spoken. I only did what had to be done. George, don't take another step. This lady is my friend, and nobody shall hurt her. I will kill her first. Let's go home. Don't be afraid. I won't let them hurt you. Oh, you brought the car, George. Excellent. You'll sit with me.
But, Mr. Masterson, she's not going with us.
Not going with us? You must, my dear. You're in danger.
But we've got to get to the landing field.
Landing field? Very well, I shall take you there.
Let me talk to the sheriff.
Doreen, dear, you sit up here in front.
Miss Doreen is going to sit with me, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
There's a dead woman lying right here on the floor. That's right, Sheriff. He shot her dead. No, she's right where she fell. Nobody touched a thing. We... Sheriff, the body just got up and walked out of here.
Dear.
At last.
And Phillips seems to be ready for the takeoff. All set to go, Phillips?
Sorry, sir, but one of the engines still acting up. Whatever it is, I can't find the bug.
It's probably nothing serious. Can't we take off anyway?
No, sir. I can't take that chance.
You're the captain. How much longer do you think...
My dear young man, I want to fly.
You want to...
I've always wanted to fly. And now I will.
Sorry, sir, but I'm the one who decides whether we fly or not.
I command, and thou shalt obey.
Is he kidding?
He ain't kidding, mister. You'd better do as he says.
We fly now. You go first.
Listen, the police!
At last!
Don't be afraid. I won't let them harm you. Get in, quick. Come along, George. Now we will all fly.
She's on course.
How long do you think it will take us, Phillips?
If everything goes all right, about an hour and a half.
It's wonderful up here. So close to heaven.
Wait a minute. Something wrong with this gyro compass. Somebody's fooled with the setting. We've been flying 100 degrees off course. Engine's acting up already.
Is it bad, Jan? Do we have to go down again?
How should I know?
Just stay calm, please. Nothing seriously wrong so far. It's getting worse, much worse. I'll have to go down. And fast.
Place to land.
You don't look too good, miss.
We keep on flying. I like it. This is my order.
Fasten your safety belts. This can't last much longer. And please remain calm.
Can't you find the landing spot, Phillips?
Not yet. But I am trying for that mesa dead ahead.
You think we'll make it?
I don't know, sir. Keep your fingers crossed. Miss Culbertson, no smoking.
Okay, Captain. But may I ask where we are?
Somewhere over Mexico at an altitude of 1,500. And with a dying engine. The other one's okay. Doesn't do us any good, not in this ship.
Birds fly without motors, and so will we.
Mister, I don't know who you are or what you are, but this bird won't fly.
When a bird is sick, he has to land. And our bird is sick. Very sick.
The sick I shall heal. The good I shall protect.
We've got a chance. I'm going down. Hold tight. Gonna be rough. Hold on, everybody. It looks too short. I'll have to break the run. Isn't everything all right?
Yes. Yes, I'm all right.
Good. Stick close. I want to talk to you.
Right.
I never thought we'd make it, Phillips.
But we did, sir. Good girl, Miss Culbertson.
Oh, thank you, Captain.
I like it here.
Our voices sound strange up here. Do you hear that?
It must be the echo of our voices, my dear, thrown back at us from the forest.
2 days ago, he got away from us. I've been hunting him ever since. I caught up with him in that border dive just before I killed that dancer. I tried, but I couldn't stop him.
Why did he kill her? How did he get that gun?
Nobody knows why he kills. He just wants to, and he does. Where he got that gun? Probably bought it. He has lots of money all the time. Doesn't mean a thing to him.
Can't we get that gun away from him?
I'll try, Captain. You can bet on that. But for the sake of all of us, don't try to rush or force him. Leave it to me.
All right.
May I smoke now, Captain?
Oh, no, not yet. I have to look at the gas tanks first. Now, Miss Culbertson, you may smoke.
Thank you, Captain.
Any idea where we are, Phillips?
I think so, sir. We're in Mexico, about 120 miles below the border, on top of a mesa rising 600 feet above the desert.
600 feet?
That's right. Stuck up in the air like an island in the sky.
I suppose we can't walk down from here.
Not unless you're a human fly.
Sorry, Captain. Haven't been with the circus for years.
It's wonderful. So close to heaven.
I'd better get that flare. And the flashlight. We'll need some light.
Something? I don't like it here. A bit.
Oh, if I had a nightmare, this is it. Who could be out there?
I don't, Culbertson. Oh, it could be a very natural cause. An old dead branch breaking off or a falling tree. I wouldn't worry too much. Well, here comes Wu. Now we can have a fire.
Did you hear that noise out there, Wu?
Yes, Master. You heard?
Did you see anything?
The curtain of darkness veils the sharpest eyes. We saw nothing.
Well, let's get that fire going. I'll be back in a minute. fire, Blair, and...
A drink. Oh, I certainly can use it.
Well, that's what occurred to me when I saw the bottle. But first, let's get this into the air. Our only flare and it worked.
How do we know it was seen?
Well, we don't, sir. All we can do is hope.
Sorry, Miss Culberson. No glass.
Oh, that's all right, Wu. It's a relief to be informal once in a while.
I think I'll eat something. I feel hungry.
Shut up, you fool.
You were the fool, Jan. Remember his gun?
A hungry animal knows no fear.
No, thank you. Not brandy just before dinner.
Sorry, sir, to disillusion you, but there's no food on this ship. Not even a K ration.
Thank you, sir. That helped. I'm gonna look around.
What for? You can't see anything. Well, we need this flashlight.
I have this.
Does that give out enough light?
Sure, I use it at the sanitarium all the time.
It's past my dinner time, dear. Aren't you hungry?
But, Mr. Masterson, we have no food with us.
George will bring it. He always does.
If our flare wasn't seen by anyone, how will we get off this mesa?
To be honest, sir, I don't know. We can't do anything decisive until daylight.
You're so attentive. But even I can do some things for myself.
So I noticed. And, no offense, ma'am.
You scare easily, don't you, Captain?
See what happens. Who's right? He does need help.
I'm going with you, Grant. Anything's better than to sit here and wait.
May I suggest that we wait here until Phillips find out what happened? You'll be safer here.
Are you concerned about my safety?
George is out there and in trouble. I'll go. Anyone who wants to come along can do so now.
I'd like a stroll before dinner.
Since you insist, we all go. You come too.
Yes, Master. I'll put some more wood on the fire.
Stay close together. The best way is to hold each other's hand and form a line.
If you don't mind.
I believe it's better, Mr. Bancroft, if you hold on to Mr. Masterson's coat. And Wu, you bring up the rear.
Is that you, George?
End of the trail.
Can you see anything down there?
Only a black, gaping hole. Light won't reach bottom. Hey, you wait here. I'll try this alone. It looks too narrow. One wrong step and we may all go over.
Is it George?
Yeah.
Shot him.
Nobody shot him. Look. Bullet wounds.
How horrible. What could have killed him?
I don't know. I hope we won't have to find out.
George is beyond help. We should all go back and tend the fire for the living.
Poor George. There's not a thing we can do for him. I'll stand close to the underbrush. I'll have to get by. Can't see a thing.
That noise is not falling branches. Something's moving in there.
Help! It's got me! Something got me!
Where?
Here in my arm. My left arm.
It's a nasty scratch, all right, but nothing serious. I'll dress it as soon as we get back to the plane. I'd suggest we all stay away from these thorns.
Oh, look, the skirt's ruined. So is his heel.
You weren't hurt, Miss Culbertson.
No, not a bit. Thank you.
May we go on now, Phillips?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Where's that bottle of yours, Captain? I sure could use another drink.
I think we all could stand a little drink after this experience. How about you?
Something we can do to get help.
Done the only thing we can do. That's to send up a flare. If help doesn't come by morning, we'll make a signal fire. But meanwhile, I'd suggest we get some sleep. We've got a long night ahead of us.
Do you expect any of us to sleep after what happened tonight?
Well, maybe not sleep, but at least you'll get some rest.
But we're all in danger. Whatever killed George may attack us.
Take it easy, sir. I'll stand guard and keep the fire going. My eyes open.
Well, we all could use a little rest. But remember now, we are putting our lives in your hands.
I realize that, sir.
Doreen, why don't you try to make yourself a little comfortable? Try to get some rest.
I'll try.
The darker shadows of the night will melt away with the morning sun.
Mr. Masters, don't you think you better get some sleep?
Is it bedtime?
Yeah, it's bedtime. I'll wake you when morning comes.
Soon their nerves will break.
Didn't mean to wake you.
I wasn't asleep.
You nervous?
No. I was just thinking. Phillips, why do you ignore me?
That what you were thinking about?
Yes. And I resent it.
You're not used to it, huh?
Do you really dislike me that much?
I don't dislike you, Miss Culbertson.
But you don't approve of me, is that it? You think I'm marrying him for his money?
Well, aren't you?
I'm very fond of him.
But you don't love him.
Well, I'm not exactly mad about him, if that's what you mean. But I am fond of him.
And he can give you nice things.
Well, yes. Why not? He can give me security, for one thing. And that's important. Don't you think?
Why should you care what I think?
I don't exactly. It's just that I'd like you to understand me. What is it?
I thought I heard something. No, I guess it wasn't anything. Now, what were you saying?
I was saying that I'd like you to understand me.
I think I do understand.
Oh, no, you don't. You can't.
Oh, yes, I can. I've had my hard knocks, too. I've had to work ever since I was a kid. Some of it wasn't very much fun. Well, I guess it boils down to what you want out of life.
What is for you, Grant?
Well, I want a girl who's sincere. Real. Someone who'd stick by me when the chips are down. One who wants me only for what I am, not for what I have. Big order, huh? Wait a minute. This was to be your wedding night. Remember?
Yes. Yes, of course. That was a foolish thing to do. This was no imagination. It was there, I thought.
What did you see, dear?
Well, I couldn't sleep. Phillips and I were sitting here talking, and there was a noise. I looked up, and I saw some women and little men. They seemed unreal.
No offense intended, Miss Culbertson, but I know what strange tricks our minds can play on us.
Yes, I know, Phillips, but I'm sure I saw it.
Where's your comb, my dear?
Comb? Oh, I guess I lost it out there somewhere.
But I gave it to you. We must find it. That comb is a valuable heirloom of my family.
What do you mean by we? If you think I'm going out there once more, you're crazy.
I didn't intend you to go. Who will go and look for it?
May I have the light?
Oh, don't be a fool!
He who serves well will also serve in danger.
Who? The wanderer in the valley of darkness shall have my guidance and protection.
Okay, Wu. If you feel that way about it, I won't stop you. But don't hesitate to use that gun. I hope you know how.
There's a day to be born and a day to die.
I want you to realize that if Wu doesn't come back, you will be responsible.
I'll never touch that comb again, even if he finds it.
I still have my heirloom. You make me sick. Why did you ever have to leave that crazy house? Blessed be the pure in mind, for they shall find peace. I And you are a coward, sir.
What? Why are you? You're very brave, aren't you, since Masterson no longer has a gun?
Let go of me, or do you want to lose your job?
I haven't had the opportunity to tell you yet, but I quit when we went out there on your orders.
You brought Masterson?
Yes, he's here.
Good. We found him at last.
What about the others?
Well, I have something in mind for the girl and the pilot. The other I shall dispose of. What's the matter, Wu?
Priceless heirloom.
Wu is dead.
Yeah.
You murdered him.
They're coming for us. They're coming.
Hancock, throw more wood on that fire, quick! Just keep it moving, Doreen. Well, remember, we haven't seen him yet.
Aren't you afraid, Grant?
Scared stiff.
If you're frightened, what do you call him?
I can't stand it. I'm getting out of here.
Don't be a fool. The only thing keeping you back is our fire.
He'll recover consciousness in a moment or so. Be perfectly sane again. It's unfortunate he left us in such a state before. I understand that he was committed to an asylum, attempted to kill Tarantella.
Grant, look. It's the dancer from the cafe. I saw him kill her.
Amazing the durability of my creations.
Dr. Aranya. Aranya. That's Spanish for spider.
We meet again, Doctor.
Again? Did I leave here? Yes. I seem to remember vaguely that...
Yes, you escaped just before, Doctor, and you led us a merry chase recovering you.
Why? Why not just kill me? Why bring me back?
Unfortunately, I still need your help. I'll give you one more chance to change your mind.
No, never. Nothing you can do will ever make me a party to this.
Tarantella.
No, you're not going to torture him anymore.
Damn it! Don't you fool! Fool? I don't think so. Just a few moments, this will explode. go and destroy you and me and all of your terrible creations.
Doctor, you're a man of science. You wouldn't destroy the greatest achievement of science.
Scientist, yes, but I'm a human being too, and that's where we differ. You two have got a chance. Through that door, down the corridor in the rock. Hurry!
Who is he? What is this place?
He's a brilliant madman. Hurry, there are only seconds left. What about you? Blue Dog, you go. No, go! Thing, Aranya. Your creations can grow a new arm or leg, but nothing can survive fire.
I don't know how long we stumbled and staggered across that desert before he found us. Well, that's about the story. Believe it or not.
Grant.
How do you feel, honey?
All right, I guess.
I've just been telling them our story. They don't buy it.
How do you think he did?
Es verdad. That's the truth.
Now, don't worry about it. You're going to be all right in a couple of days. Just a little too much sun on the bare head. If anybody thinks I'm going to load one of my trucks with oil and send it up on top of a mountain to burn a bunch of imaginary spiders.
Yes, you're right, Dan. Common sense tells you there isn't anything to his story, doesn't it? Giant spiders on a desert mesa. Fantastic. Pepe is just a superstitious native. True, no one has ever been on Zarpa Mesa, but it's just like any other bit of tableland. Not a thing different about it. Or is there?
Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watch Waddle for some fun cartoons with no static.